Hello YouTube and welcome. Thank you for joining me for another video. Now today's video I'll be showing you how to turn that old computer into something that's functional and works, okay? So if you've got an old computer laying around, don't go out and buy a new one just yet. There's an option available out there. Okay. There's a company called Neverware. You see it here? They've been around for several years, and what their business was, they took Chromium, which is Google's open source operating system. That is what they run on Chromebooks, and it's completely free and it's out there, and people who build computers have known about this for a while. But Neverware as a company, what they did was they made it into a simple tool where you could download their program, install it onto your computer. It would completely remove all that old operating system and install Google Chrome, basically put. Now, they did it for home use and they did it for enterprise and education. Now, mainly it started off as for enterprise and education so that businesses could have one platform for all their computers and they could have management over those as far as what could be installed and what every device had. Same thing for education. It gave the same management tools for education to where you could, as a organization or an educational institution, you could install things that you wanted and set it up how you wanted it to work. Now, as a caveat, they also made it for home use, which didn't give you those two benefits of, management and tech support. It gave you the ability to turn your old computer, no matter what operating system it was on, into a Chromebook and give it a new life. Now, Neverware has been bought out by Google. You can see it here. So that means that the people who ran Neverware are now billionaires, and Google is continuing to present the service. I knew it would happen. I've known about this for about, 5 or 6 years, and it was already out there when I learned about it. And I've taken several computers that had spent their life and they were pretty much useless. The operating system was old, it was slow hardware, but when you install Neverware on it, or the name is called Cloud Ready once you put the program on your computer. Once you install Cloud Ready, what happens is that device is essentially now a Chromebook. And I'm on the website for neverware.com, and it's the free download version, and I'll show you what it does. This is for home use, so if you have a business and you want to put this out there, there's options out there. Or if you're an educator and you want all of your devices to be on this software so you can have control, there's information out there also. But what I'm doing today is I'm focusing on the home use, okay? And it says here, what's the best Cloud Ready device? The one you already have. Cloud Ready Home Edition is the free, easy way to transform your old PC or Mac into a high-performing Chrome device, okay? Now, of course, it's been featured in Wall Street Journal, The Verge, Engadget, the Boston Globe. It's all over the place. And again, it's now part of Google. This was an independent company for the longest. Now it's part of Google. As we continue on down, whether you're a parent, student, teacher, or someone who needs to work from home, if you need a reliable, high-performing device, the Cloud Ready Home Edition is for you. And what you don't get in the home version, like I said, you don't get access to tech support and you don't get management capabilities. So it's just for your own personal use. To install it, before you begin, critical requirements. One of the main things you have to make sure is that you have 2 gigabytes of RAM and at least 16 gigabytes of storage. Now, pretty much every computer that's made, in the last, I would say 15 years has those at least. And if you don't, it wouldn't work for you. Let's look at the requirements real quick. General hardware, you're going to need 2 gigabytes or greater of RAM and 16 gigabytes of more. If you don't know what your device has, you can always take that computer, flip it over, get your model number, and search it in Google. It'll tell you the specs on that computer. If you're using a Mac, you can go once you can get it powered on, because of course these devices have to power on. Once you get it powered on, you can click that little Apple logo and hit about this Mac, and it'll tell you everything you want to know. Okay. So that's the main requirement: 2 gigabytes or greater of RAM and at least 16 gigabytes of storage. Now going back here. Now what you'll need to make this happen, you need an 8 gigabyte or greater USB stick. You need 20 minutes of your time to create the USB installer. And here are how you're going to create the installer. Now when you get to this web page, you'll see everything that I'm saying. I'm going to give you, of course, the link. You can build your own cloud-ready installer. You can download the USB maker, which is a wizard, and it steps you through. Or you can create and build your own. Now, I highly suggest that you go with this option right here. You need to have access to Windows 7 or newer on a working computer, and you create the USB on that computer and then put the stick that you've created into the one that you want to make into a Chromebook. So you would download the USB maker tool. It's a small file. It's only 48 megabytes. It takes you 20 minutes. Once you download the tool, it'll step you through when to put in your USB stick, and it'll help you create a USB stick that is going to be an installed device that you would take that stick and you would put it into the computer that you wanted to put Chrome on or Cloud Ready on, and you will be all set. Now, once you've created the stick, as you see, it steps you through here. Once you've done step number 1, you've built your stick. Now that you've created the stick, which is step number 2, these are the steps for their install. All right, you want to first make sure that your chosen device is turned off. You want to put the USB that you just made into that device, and you want to power it on. Now, if it's a Dell, HP, Lenovo, Apple, Toshiba, Acer, or other, they give you the steps on what you do to get into the boot menu on how this computer would boot. Because what you want to do is, once you put your disk, your flash disk that you've created, into your target computer, you want to boot it so it goes to that flash drive and completes the operation. So we'll just say you have a Dell. You're going to power on your computer, and this is of course with the memory stick that you've created in the computer. You want to tap F12 when the Dell logo appears, and it's going to give you an option. If you made the correct keystrokes, a menu will appear on your computer that will display a number of boot options. You're going to use the arrow keys to highlight and enter on the keyboard, on your keyboard, to select the USB device that represents the Cloud Ready USB installer. So depending on whatever your computer that you created this USB drive on recognizes it as, it might show up as USB device or USB storage, or a name that your machine matches it to the brand. So if you've got a SanDisk USB stick, it'll be SanDisk installer, something like that. Now, once you've selected the correct boot device, you will see a white splash screen with the Cloud Ready logo as shown below. You'll see this on your computer. That means you're in the right steps. Now, we're going to proceed. And of course, we're doing Home Edition, not Enterprise, because we're not a business or a school. We're doing Home Edition, so we'll proceed. Okay, after the splash screen and your USB installer has finished starting, you will see the following screen. It'll look like this. Now, you're going to left click on the clock at the bottom right hand corner of the screen within the menu that appears. So down here at the bottom, there's going to be a clock, and you're going to click Install OS as shown below. So once you click on the clock in the bottom, you'll get this to pop up, and it'll be this button you want to push, Install OS. You'll get, of course, the acknowledgement disclaimer, and it'll tell you that, before you install, that you, of course, don't want any of that data that's on that computer. So you would have first removed all of your pictures or whatever you wanted to save on that computer, because doing this install, and this is very important, when you install this, you are completely wiping away that hard drive. So nothing on that computer will be there after you complete this step. Okay? So you need to think about that first. And this is a great idea if you pick up a computer from a thrift store, a consignment shop, a pawn shop. If someone gifts you one, or like I said in the beginning, if you've got one that's been laying around for 4 or 5 years and you're thinking, I need an up-to-date computer, you've already got one. Follow these steps, you'll be up and running in no time. 20 minutes tops. And I don't want to overcomplicate this with you guys, and I'm just going through the steps so to coach you along. I would give this whole process on a 1 to 10 scale of difficulty. I'd give it about a 6. And if you're managing through YouTube and emails, you're up to par. You're completely fine. You know the ins and out of what to click and how to click through a step processes. Okay, so now you've acknowledged that disclaimer, and you're going to click Install Cloud Ready, which is going to be at the bottom. And it's going to give you another pop-up. To initiate installation, it'll provide a final reminder that if you proceed, the next step will overwrite your entire hard disk. So again, I'm going to make sure I let you guys know you only want to do this on a computer that you are aware that you're wiping it clean, because you're going to now have Cloud Ready on that computer. No other operating system, no other information. Okay. You're going to click Erase and Hard Drive to install Cloud Ready. Now the install process is going to begin. This is what's going to take you to 5 to 20 minutes, depending on how fast that computer is. If it's a low-end spec computer, it would take longer. But once it's installed, it will be just as fast, just as dependable as any Chrome device that's currently being sold, because you're loading that operating system on it. Okay, during the install process, your machine may become idle or dim. This is normal. And you want to make sure you use your mouse or your touchpad to check if the machine is powered off before you remove your USB. So I would suggest let it finish. Don't unplug that USB drive. Don't mess with it much. Just every now and again, move your finger around the touchpad or the mouse just to see the process if you want to, but expect for this to last 20 minutes. If it does before 20 minutes get done, you're fine. But at least wait 20 minutes before it's done. All right, then now after that's done, your device will go off, and it'll be completely off. And you'll know when it's off because any lights that you have will be gone. That means the installation is done. Now, you're going to turn on your machine again. You'll be presented with the welcome screen where the language and accessibility settings will be adjusted. So you'll get this welcome screen, and you'll click down here in the bottom right, let's go. And this is the same screen that you would see if you had bought a brand new Chromebook and you were stepping through the setup processes. You will then connect to your network. The on-screen prompts will step you through finding your network and connecting to it just like anything else. You'll agree to the data consent because you're setting up a new computer, just like everything else. And now you'll sign in. It'll tell you congratulations, and you can now log in. You're going to log in with your Google account. Google, Chromebook, Chromium, they're all in the same thing. So you're going to sign in with your Google account. If you have an Android device, this is just like you would sign in on your Android device. Just like you would sign in from your YouTube, okay? Now, your media plugin installation is optional. Now, you'll get Adobe Flash, which is optional. Some people don't want it, depending on what you're going to use this computer for, and some people do. I suggest that you go ahead and install it, okay? So once you launch the menu, which is going to be in your bottom right, once you launch the menu, you're going to hit that gear icon, and it's going to pop up this screen here. You're going to scroll down for media plugins, and you want to make sure you install Adobe Flash and any proprietary media components. Adobe Flash is going to make sure all your videos that are within web pages work, and the proprietary media components are going to make sure that if you're using it for YouTube or any other video platform site, if it was something as simple as Twitter or Facebook where you could watch videos, you want to make sure that any codecs or any software that they use, your computer is able to recognize it. So you want to make sure you click these two, Adobe Flash and proprietary media components. You're going to accept the license on the plugin agreement page, and then you're going to have to restart. Once you're done there, you're completely 100% finished. That old laptop that you've had laying around for years is now a Chromebook. That old Mac that you've had laying around for years is now a new Chromebook. It completely works. It's a company that is, and I thought about doing this video, I don't know, wow, 3 or 4 years ago on my first page, and I didn't want to do it because it was something that I was kind of leery about because it wasn't certified by Google, but I knew that the Chromium platform that they were letting you install was a Google platform. But now that Google has, bought this company out and is providing that service as a part of Google, now I feel, comfortable enough to put the video out there to let you guys know how to do it. I highly recommend this, guys. Don't feel afraid of the process. I went through the steps with you, and once you download the installer, everything is going to take you through setting up your USB, telling you when it's done, telling you what to do next. It's very user friendly, so anyone can do it. And if you have a relative, an aunt, uncle, mom, dad, granddad that you want to, help them get up to par with the computer that they can use, or if you're that mom, dad, aunt, uncle, or granddad, and you want to step your computer up to something that is actually functional, and with the Chromium software installed, there are no viruses, there are no security risk. It's completely secure, and you're operating a Chromebook in a shell of your Dell. That's pretty much what happens. Hope this was helpful, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. Hope you like it. Go ahead and follow these steps. Check out the website. Of course, I'll give you the link, and I'll see you in the next video.